Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is a little update time, a little time to, I guess, do some erratum, some error correction that has happened on the internet lately. Not a long stream, probably. I mean, I have nowhere to go today. I'm off, but I don't want to sit for like 2 hours. So, I mean, I was in a 4 hour stream last night on Nikki's channel. That was a long stream, and there's a lot to go over. And like I said, there are some corrections, or at least things I like want to bring to light, and then kind of move on from that because it's such a deep topic, and there's just so much to it, and there's a lot to go over. I mean, I had like maybe 40 tabs open last night. It was ridiculous how much stuff there was, and I was just trying to get a very cursory understanding out there, even though it was about the deepest dive I've gone. But Defango had messaged me on Twitter saying I got some things wrong, which again I think that was noted. Even Ruin said that I probably got 80% right. I mean, I wasn't expected to be perfect. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and the problem with that whole community is that, look, the reality is you can't trust anyone. I mean, they're all involved in some pretty shady stuff for the most part. I'm not saying shady maybe necessarily as an unethical. I don't know, but every one of them at least is you don't know what they're saying is true or not. You really have no idea. Hey, Surgeon General, welcome. Updates for what? Wait, what time is it where you're at? Alexa, what time is it in, I don't know, is he in Western or Surgeon is in,
It's 3:03 p.m.
Afternoon. He's in Eastern time. I thought it was ASTT. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing in Australia? He's from back east. I know where Surgeon's from. I said updates for 2 a.m. Eastern. No, it's 3 p.m. My time. I don't know what you're talking about, Surgeon. But anyways, like I said, Fango messaged, on Twitter, and, he again, no disrespect to Defango. He's a smart dude, but he does talk in a little bit of riddles and codes so much. I mean, because again, he can't expect all the people to know about this stuff. It's just too much. And, he has been known to be extremely paranoid. This is not so big secret. But I've never had anything, personally against the guy at all. I never had any slight against him at all. But it's very difficult to talk about any of that because anything that you get wrong, they take as a personal slight, and it's not. I want things. Erratum. Isn't it erratum? I thought it was erratum. Is it errata? I mean, I've seen both things, but in this, I call it erratum because that's when you have an error in print. But the word errata, I think, is a list of errors, isn't it? So an errata would be a list of errors, but erratum is an appendum to something that's already been published, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, maybe I'm off on that, but I'm pretty sure I remember errata being some kind of list of errors that you have, and erratum is an addendum that you would file from a published paper that if you have any errors from the publisher. Does that sound right? Is that correct? Again, fix me, people. I want my stuff to be right. So yeah, it's a second declaration. But I mean, it's to fix publisher errors of the person that you made a mistake on a paper or something like that, right? But anyway, so long story short, the thing I said I made some mistakes about how everybody was like related. He said, and I will say that he did say that he had never talked to Tracy Beans Diaz. I will take him on his word for that. What I was reading said that, basically there were some links to her from him that went up to Michael Flynn. But again, who knows what to believe, right? But if he tells me something directly, then I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give Defango principle of charity, and if he says he's never spoken to Tracy Beans Diaz, then I'm gonna believe him on that. I'm gonna go with what he tells me to believe, just for the sake of the discussion. Why not? I mean, I'm not taking it as anything anybody says is 1,000% true, because you can't with that community. I'm sorry, you just can't. Even Defango has to understand that. But definitely no slight against him by any means. If anything, I was complimenting him because when he comes to these puzzles like the 137 or the 3301, Defango has the skill set to do it. The understanding of the cryptography and the stenography. What is it? How do you pronounce that word? See, I suck at this. I don't even know how to pronounce the word. Stenography. Wait, when you have a message inside a message, what the hell is that called? What the hell is that called? It tells you how much I do about internet stuff. Steganography. There we go. I'll go with that. Steganography. But it's basic. I know what it is. I just can't speak. I have, people do know I have a speech impediment. There's certain words I just cannot say, even though I know the concepts. But I do have a long-standing speech impediment that prevents me from saying certain words with R's, S, hard sounds. And you'll see me doing a lot when I speak that I'll make phonetic mistakes. It's called, it's some degree, it's verbal dyspraxia, but whatever. But you guys know what it is. So it's not stenography. No, it's not stenography. It's when you have a hidden message inside of a picture. Is that here? I'll play it for you. See if I can get a pronunciation. Here, you'll hear it here.
Steganography.
Steganography. Okay.
Steganography.
Steganography. That's how you pronounce it. Steganography. 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 Yeah. See, it's simple once I hear it, but I have to hear it in order to pronounce certain things, right? And then my auditory understanding kicks in, right? It's just how I learn. I learn really by listening a lot more than I do reading certain things, and certain things because of my verbal dyspraxia and my inability to pronounce certain words. Which yes, I did go through speech therapy for many, many years on. I have a hard time looking at something and just kind of phonetically doing it. But see, even after I heard it, I still have a hard time saying it. See, I have to hear it again.
Steganography.
Steganography. There you go. Steganography. I once I hear it again and again and again, but I just don't use that word that often. Steganography. Steganography. There you go. See, I'm going to give up on the steganography. Welcome to the inside of my inner workings of my brain. It's just a learning disability thingy that I've always had when trying to pronounce words because of my speech impediment. So, anyways, I wanted to correct that. So, hopefully Defango isn't, too upset. It wasn't never meant to be, but, I hope he understands there's a lot to go over. What else we got to correct? Stegosaurus. Yeah, I can say Stegosaurus. Yeah. Stegosaurus. Steganography. Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Thank you, Surgeon General. Yeah, Stegosaurus. Just say stego without the orus. So steganography. But anyways, moving on to other things. So another thing I've got to correct. Just recently, there was a trailer released. Even though I was going to do this, this was something I didn't even want to bring up. I already put it on Facebook, but maybe I was going to do it in passing. But I figured, why not? Somebody, Jesse had messaged me on it. I said, yeah, go on, whatever. So people know that. Look, I've had Jesse on, the red-haired girl from back east on the channel before. I don't have her on the channel anymore. There's some reasons. She understands that. I do talk to her. We do communicate. And I do try to give her advice like I would with anybody else. I have nothing against her. But Wes, the producer for Chris Hansen from Sit Down, Take a Seat, wanted some questions answered. And I'm more to oblige. People that are asking with on intent come to me for questions. I'm going to give them as many answers as I could possibly give them, which I did. I had about an hour-long interview with him. I think he may, at least in the trailer, he only used about, 10 seconds, if you saw the trailer already. But the trailer, I think, was a little taken out of context, which is, again, I understand how these producer type people and these, show kind of people try to make things more salacious. I get that. It's all part of the shtick. But, I still, on the record, I have to say that, no, Jesse did never sexually harass me at any time, at any place. I said exactly what happened. That was the truth. I said exactly what I told her, which was the truth. Jesse has said, that she, of course, confirmed everything. Which one of the reasons I still talk to her. She's, as long as she's like straight up with me, I have no reason not to talk to her. And, for them to say, in the trailer saying, oh, there was sexual harassment, and then use, what I told the producer. Yeah, it's kind of salacious because I told her that. I told her what I told them. And I was very clear that, no, at no time did I ever say she sexually harassed me. So, and there's, by the way, there's a whole bunch of reasons that people, I think, use that term inappropriately. Sexual harassment in retail is a very different term. There's a very specific conditions that need to be required for sexual harassment. And there's no possible way in that context, either one of us could be sexual harassed because I've never met the woman in real life. She doesn't work for me. There's no power dynamic to be had there, right? There's not an employer-employee relationship. There's not a boss or supervisor to subordinate a relationship where there's a power dynamic, which is critical in a sexual harassment thing for retail. Now, I understand in a more colloquial sense, right? In a more general sense, people can probably say, well, yeah, they sexually harass me by making inappropriate comments, things of that nature. Okay, I get that. But I have to use the terms very distinctly differently because, I've had 20 years of retail. I've been a store manager, operations manager, assistant DM. I've been a sales manager. It was a customer service / sales manager. I've been, obviously loss prevention. I've been the gamut. I've never been in, it's funny. I've never been in any kind of fast food though. Ever in my life, not one. I never worked at fast food. It's always been some kind of retail. I started off, my very first job was at Radio Shack, and I came in as a sales associate, but I was quickly promoted to kind of a de facto assistant manager. I was only 17 at the time, and I was just going into the military. It was my senior year. I was working there while going to school a little bit, and then after I got out of school, I had joined I joined the military in DEP program, and then after I graduated, I left to boot camp to Orlando, Florida, in October 26, 1987. Yes, I graduated in 87, and I graduated when I was 17. I was born when I was 70. See, math, right? Works out. And so I'm trying to read the live chat. What's going on here? Shady producers cited for money. I find it funny that the producers didn't reach out to me when I could have verified some of what you're saying happened to her. Yeah, and by the way, Surgeon General knows exactly what I'm talking about. He thinks the exact same way I do. And I'm sorry that they didn't either. I really am. You have a lot to add to that particular story. But Surgeon General and I, we absolutely, at least as far as I know, absolutely agree across the board on all that. I know exactly, his story with Jesse. He knows my story. But it was kind of weird when people were out there thinking that somehow that like she and I had some kind of relationship or something, or dating or something. That's completely absurd. Surgeon General can testify under oath if he needs to. Not that there's going to be any kind of case on that. There's nothing like that. There's all this stuff about any illegalities is going to be, I think, is going to be quickly washed out when certain things come out that I don't think Chris Hansen knows about, but whatever. But as far as when it comes to me, he could tell you straight up that no, her and I were not dating or anything of the sort. And so when people started putting that rumor out there, that was kind of freaking kind of funny, actually. It's like, no, where the hell do you pull this one out from? But yeah, troll logic, right? But it is kind of funny because I'll stay away on a stack of Sagans. But it is funny, right? Because they do you just throw this stuff against the wall and see what sticks, kind of stuff. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Made it bigger. There we go. I should be able to see it better. And by the way, the link to join, if you want to join, is above. If you want to come in, Surgeon. By the way, I can use your first name on here. People know your first name, Surgeon. Right? I'm used to calling you by your first name and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, so it's kind of weird that, they went out of their way to, put in the very, very front of the trailer that in front of my segment of that trailer where, it said, sex. They had AZ as a first person. Yeah, AZ is the most reliable person in the world to trust. No, she's just trolling. She's trolling Chris Hansen and their producer. And so is the producer to some degree. It's just one big cluster. It is one big cluster, and I just don't want to get involved with it, except for the fact that he was very open about wanting to have some questions answered. And I'm like, okay, I might as well get the story out from, the truth that happened to me rather than somebody else, right? But yeah, okay, yeah, I know your name's Shane. That's so I sat down for about an hour with him, and I let him very, clearly know that, yeah, I understand where he's coming from. Do I think that she was absolutely wrong in falsely accusing Wes of things? Yeah, 100%. I was very clear to him about that too. I 100% was on his side on that. She shouldn't have done that. You don't just throw around allegations, and especially when they're not true. Even if you're trying to get back at somebody, even if you're just trying to say, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just being mean to them, kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. You don't do it. You don't throw around false allegations. if you get things wrong, you fix them. Like if Danfango has things that he wanted to correct, I'd be happy to correct them. And like I said, when he told me that I got something wrong, I'm on here saying, okay, I got it wrong, and I believe him on it. But you never want to go willfully out, knowingly put out misinformation, which she did, and it was just to hurt him. I can't deal with that. I can't get behind that. Now she has apologized. He has accepted, and so that's between them. That's not my business at that point, from what I understand. But yeah, when people are out there just going, yeah, Steven, what do they call her, Big Red or something, Angry Red. I don't remember the nickname they have for her. But I'm like, how did this come about? This is news to me. No. Shane says, I have company stopping, but we'll try to pop on if still on. Okay. And Shane was for the audience goof. I find the producers distasteful and manipulative. Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, erratum is for a single correction. Errata is for a list of. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess that erratum would be a single of errata, right? Well, originally this was going to be just a single thing. This really was going to be just honestly just a correction to an error stuff relating to the stream last night, right? But it was just like the single stream last night. So maybe it should have been errata rather than erratum. Because I wasn't going to even talk about some of this other stuff, but whatever. Let's see here. What else? What else needs to be corrected? Okay, so that's out there now. Yeah, no. Jesse and I have never had a relationship at all, ever. Nothing even remotely of the sort. She's never sexually harassed me, so anybody who says otherwise, they're just putting out misinformation for views. If Chris Hansen implies that she sexually harassed me, she has every right to tell him that is not the case. I have a right to tell people who sexually harassed me and who didn't. This was not the case. And so for somebody else to take umbrage, I don't think that's ethical. I don't think that's right. You can't tell somebody else how they feel. Now, I mean, granted, I guess absolutely, if you're in a situation, okay, as somebody who's been in management a long time and somebody who has dealt with a lot of these issues because they come up in HR, and you have to investigate, you have to be part of it, you have to sign things, you have to talk about what you've seen and things of that nature. Sure. If you have witnessed somebody in a work and related situation be sexually harassed, and you're in a position of authority where you think it might be harmful, obviously to her or him or to the work environment or whatever, and you think that there's an issue there, it's perfectly appropriate to bring it up to somebody because they may be scared to do so. But if it's affecting their work, that is by definition something that is sexual harassment or workplace environment. Something that's causing harm, something causing interference with their work, usually through a power dynamic. Actually, it was technically supposed to always have to come to power dynamic, but we know that's not necessarily true. Two co-workers that are working together with no superiority of each other still can be constitutive of sexual harassment. But usually it's a power dynamic where you have a supervisor to subordinate. They will do things like quid pro quo, which is, you do this, I do that, date me and I'll give you a raise. Things of that nature would be a sexual harassment, inappropriate touching, but anything that affects the work environment. And so you can maybe be outraged on somebody else who maybe is too timid to bring it up to HR. If you see something, like if you see somebody do something overtly sexual harassment, like, touch somebody inappropriately, yeah, you have to report that. You have to report that because it's a violation. It's definitely in violation. And so you don't necessarily have to be morally outraged on behalf of anybody else, but there is something called mandatory reporting. There's something, again, by see it, report it kind of stuff if it harms the work environment. But to be morally outraged by somebody else, yeah, I think that's nonsense. Only you could be morally outraged because you were morally outraged. I can't be morally outraged on behest of somebody else or behalf of somebody else. And so when they're telling other people, oh yeah, Steve was sexually harassed. No, I wasn't. You're fine to bring it up and ask me. But if I'm telling you I don't feel sexually harassed, then there's no sexual harassment, period. It's consensual. In this case, she, did some stuff I wasn't happy with, but whatever. I mean, but She has apologized, and we moved on. There's nothing there. There's no fodder for the internet there, right? But then for somebody to come on and say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, Jessie was sexually harassing Steve. No, she wasn't. And you don't get to make that call. Only I do. And I'm telling you right now, that was not the case. You know, it was just, again, at the very, very most, you know, if you want to be outraged when somebody like crosses their boundaries, that was like that. If you know what it's like to have some people cross your boundaries, that's all it was. She crossed boundaries, my personal boundaries, and things of other nature. I had a talk with her, a few talks with her, and she hasn't done it since. And this was quite some time ago. She's learned from that, at least as far as me. That's what else do people want? You know. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I will. I guess it was supposed to be on Thursday, but it might be rescheduled. So if it's moved, I'll watch when it's moved. But I did see the trailer. But you know, going to AZ for a source, yeah, that's brilliant. You know, like she's gonna do an errata or a Erratum. You know, is she gonna fix her stuff? No, of course not. I mean, AZ's still out there going, I'm a sex cult leader for God's sake. I live in a small town in the Coachella Valley. Some sex cult leader. But she hasn't corrected that at all. She says that, you know, Wolf, Mr. Black Wolf, is some dear friend of mine. I barely know the dude. I've never been in a hangout with him. I've had like recently 1 or 2 messages with him over this, but that's it. In private, I'm sorry, in private. Yeah, on Twitter, we go back and forth. But that's all I know about him. I've heard his voice once. I know he's black and I know he's Cherokee. And that's all I know about the dude because that's in his bio. That's his identity. And so if I know his identity, I sure the hell would absolutely believe that AZ knew all of that before she started making her racist remarks, which I'm not going to get that much into, but we all know that she made racist remarks. I mean, it was, you know, it wasn't overt as in like, you know, explicit. It was implied, which is more devious, I think. It was more implied because she knew damn well how Wolf would take that. She knew. I absolutely believe she knew. It wasn't like she just said something, oh yeah, maybe as a entitled white woman, I shouldn't be saying this. Well, yeah, I can see how somebody took that. And yeah, I did not mean it that way. And then if somebody comes back and said, yeah, you did mean it that way. Okay, that is kind of BS, right? But she did mean it that way. She said other things before that makes me believe that she, you know, damn well knew he was black and damn well knew it would affect him because she does troll. And when you're a troll, you go out of your way to emotionally manipulate people. So of course I believe that she did it on purpose. Come on. You know, I mean, if she wasn't such a big troll as she was and didn't take her entire playbook from uni, then maybe might give her more of a doubt. But then again, she also said that, you know, Brandon sounded like Cookie Monster because of his cerebral palsy. So I mean, it's just like, come on. How much charity do you have to give somebody before you go, yeah, no, I am not buying it any longer. You know, so yeah, I do think she's racist. And I do take you know, Wolf's side on that. Let's see what else we got. What do you got for me? Do you got any other things that may be any correcting? By the way, my GoFundMe is still in the video description. If you want to donate to my GoFundMe to help me pay for those legal bills that I racked up going after Katie Joy to get some justice, which there's still justice coming down the line here. There's a lot of things going on. I have changed it from 10,000 to 20,000 to 10,000, and that's only to recoup what I'm out. As far as that, you know, I'm not trying to make a profit off this. Anybody says it's a fraudulent or anything like that, they can, you know, basically kiss my ass because GoFundMe said it's absolutely fine. I've given them more than sufficient paperwork. They've checked it all out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. And so people that are making, you know, this bullshit, oh, it's fraud. Well, you know what? Donate $1 and tell them to screw off. I'm okay with that. Donate $1 and just say, you know, to the trolls, piss off, and then I'll read it. But I'm going to be promoting my fundraiser, you know, for a while. And then, you know, like I said, if I do reach 10,000, the goal, then we'll terminate it completely. And I will not have made a dime. Not a single dime, because I've already spent $10,000 in legal fees. So, and it wasn't to ever make a profit off that. It was to get, you know, Katie under oath to admit that she lied about things. But as my lawyer said, that's really hard to do. And even if she was found completely liable, now it's not going to matter because 7M and Todd Chrisley are going to just rake her over the coals. And I don't see anybody else suing her. I don't know. Maybe Letitia might. I don't know. If anybody has another case, it's Letitia. But I mean, as far as like the restraining orders, somebody had said that she had like 14 restraining orders. That's, as far as I know, not correct. I have no evidence of 14 restraining orders. The only thing I've seen is one, and that one is a legitimate restraining order from Minnesota for harassment. It is filed. It was filed on 8/2/2022. I have the entire form that was filed. I know who the petitioner is. I have the form for protect the petitioner, which means they want the name hidden. So the name, actual real name is hidden from the public on the site, but I have the petition for it. I have the real person's information. Never going to come out, obviously, at least not for me. They may release. I have no idea, but I'm just saying that I don't release that kind of stuff. But I verified that this is a real person, given the real information, and it has been, as far as I know, moved from a TRO, an ex parte TRO, to a full-on 2-year RO because Katie didn't bother to respond more than just the initial filing, which was the pro se. So she got a waiver for that for some reason. But she did respond to that. They're both pro se, but she, I guess, didn't file within the mandatory 14 days to get a hearing. So I think it's a post-injunction RO now, as far as I can tell. If somebody knows more about the law and they can look into the case, go for it. But just a tertiary thing, if it was filed in 8/2 and there's been no movement on it, and that just means that in 14 days later in that state, it does become a full RO. So it seems pretty legit to me. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Let's see, what else? Any other errata? There's something else too. Now I don't know what it was. Yeah, I just don't remember. I would just go with a coriandum or corianda. Yeah, but that doesn't sound as cool as erratum for some reason. You know? Yeah. And I don't even know what the difference between coriandum and erratum is. I mean, to me, they really are the same thing. But I mean, if there's any distinction between them, let me know. Let me look that up. Coriandum versus erratum. As a general rule, publishers issue an erratum for a publication error and a coriandum for the author's error. Oh. So the erratum is more a production error that introduced through the publishing process, and a coriandum is for an author's error. Ah, interesting. I know this now. Or actually, you can also, but erratum could also be a correction to a significant error in a public text. See, they seem to be used interchangeably here, though. Yeah, here it says, it's for the author, not for the publisher. So who the hell knows? I don't know. Does anybody have any like specific knowledge of the difference between erratum and coriandum? I think they're pretty well used almost interchangeably, but yeah, it's just errors are corrected either with errata or coriandum. It doesn't really give any distinction whether it's from the publisher or through the publication process or through the author itself. Yeah. Interesting. The key difference between retractions and other forms of correction is that the author is considered by the academic community to have lost the publication if it's retracted. However, if errors are corrected with errata or corianda, the authors can still list the paper on their CVs and use them for tenure applications or other university requirements. So basically, instead of doing a retraction where they get some major error wrong and the paper's just hosed, maybe like supposedly there was like a problem with the methodology, or they just got something so fundamentally wrong, like Dr. Tompkins' paper, paper which he didn't have officially published. You got some major stuff wrong when it came to the human chromosome 2 and the DDX11 L2 gene. People have recognized that he got things wrong. In fact, even in his blast, the original one that he worked on, he did a genetic analysis using BLAST with a bug. Everybody knew there was a bug in the program. It came up with a really a really low number for chimpanzee and human DNA comparison. And he did officially retract that because there was a bug in the program that gave him such, skewed results. That's, a terminal thing for a paper. And I use the paper lightly because the term paper lightly because he didn't ever have it published. He just, creation journal stuff. But he did do a full retraction on it. Then he, did a new experiment, played with the numbers a little bit using BLAST, using ungapped parameter to try to make it sound worse than it was, to make it seem like we weren't genetically, cousins to chimps, because I think he's dishonest. He got called out for that, but that wasn't something that he did a retraction on because, it wasn't a bug in the program that we knew about. It was just he did a very skewed way of doing genetic comparisons. But if you're doing errata, then you say, yeah, I made a minor error here, or this should be this. That way the paper still stands. You don't need to retract it and republish something, I guess. That makes sense? Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, those are really the only things I really want to talk about. Again, I was really just trying to correct some stuff from last night, saying, look, I know my stream wasn't perfect last night, wasn't meant to be perfect. I just was trying to fill in the gaps and go from there. Something that, other people do, but the difference is I'm trying to do it with the best information I have available. But when you're working with something that is so convoluted, it is nowhere to even possibly do that. Anasfrida says, as I understand it, a corriendum is a thing to be corrected, e.g., a printed book or paper. Erratum is a notification of an error being corrected, usually in a separate paper. And that may be true, right? That might be true. The corriendum is what it is to be corrected, and the erratum is the notification of a correction. Yeah, could be. Yeah. But whatever, I'm just making a YouTube video. I'm just calling it erratum because I want to. Other than that, I couldn't care. I mean, yeah, sure, it's interesting to know the fine details about that stuff. I am curious about that kind of stuff. But on a YouTube video, yeah, not so much if I'm just going to be messing around. But, yeah, so I'm going to probably end it here. I think I just basically said what I want to say. Oh, no, I'm not going to end it here. I'm sorry. One other thing. This is not an error, but congratulations. Congratulations to Without a Crystal Ball. Katie Joy Paulson is #1 on the Grifties. #1. Wow. I mean, that took a lot of Herculean effort to get her over Chili and to get her over Nikita, whatever. Yeah, Nick Rikita, who's been asking his followers to go vote for him. Both of them are not too well liked in certain communities, and both of them have reasons why they're not well liked. Chili is obviously, I think, way more out to lunch than Nick. Although, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Nick Rikita, but at all. But Chili's, astronomically, bigger shitbag. That's for damn sure. But Katie Joy took over the #1 spot, meaning that Chili is now second and Nick is now third. So that's pretty impressive. But I couldn't think of anybody who's more deserving of that, besides maybe Unirock. But that would have been another Herculean effort to get Unirock to #1, because Unirock is the biggest grifter, I think, on the internet. But Katie is the most problem. Well, I don't know how to say it because they're just the two versions of the same thing. I don't know which one's worse when it comes to grifting. I think there's arguments to be made for either. Maybe that's a good debate we should have one of these days. Who's a bigger grifter, Katie or Uni? That's an interesting debate, I think, because you can make arguments for either one. But here's the thing, Katie has run multiple scams. Uni's run multiple, what do they call it? LARPs. Multiple LARPs in order to profit from them to get his PayPal. He just burns that into people's brain. And I'm sorry, but if you ever sent that guy you sent him a dime on PayPal, you're already a piece of shit to me for the most part. Unless it was a long time ago, but you've corrected that. You need your own Erratum. But if anybody sent him any PayPal in the last 2 years, probably, yeah, something is seriously distorted with you. But go ahead, send him money. I couldn't care less. I don't give a damn if somebody suckers somebody else when it comes to the sucker being an idiot. If you're that stupid and you want Jason to basically say to you, hey, look, I'm going to give you misinformation and you want to be entertained by it, give me money. That's between you guys. I don't get it. But if you want to be suckered by a sucker, knock yourself out. I don't care. It's the innocent people that I care about, the people that he's lying to, that for some reason think it's true, and then, try to at least find out the truth, but he's taking advantage of them. The ones that don't want to care about the truth, yeah, they're just, to me, suckers as well. So whatever. Chile. You want to vote for Chile? F says Rikita Law is just a crappy legal commentator. He thinks his feelings are more important than law. Oh, I've listened to clips. I'm not a fan of him, but I mean, straight up, the main reason, even though I don't think he's probably great at what he does, the main reason why is Rikita asked me a question one time, and again, my rule: honest interlocutors get honest answers. He asked me something about another lawyer. I gave him I gave him detailed information about how this other lawyer had lied. Nate the liar. And he didn't give a shit. He didn't even look into it. He didn't care. I'm like, well, why did you ask the question if you didn't care? Other people were telling me, oh, he's just doing it for fodder for his audience. He doesn't care. Oh, now you tell me. Now you have me waste my time answering his questions, giving him evidence that all the time he didn't give a damn about, because he's only caring about, putting out stuff regardless. So I don't think he's ethical when it comes to that. I think it's kind of unethical to ask somebody for evidence and then just ignore it, especially as a lawyer. So I have no fondness for the dude whatsoever. I really want nothing to do with them. If I need something from the legal people, I know some legal people in the community that I go to that are far more reputable. But yeah, I don't have nothing to do with the guy. Or they may be used interchangeably depending on country. And it's Frida, that's probably the thing though, right there. I think you hit the nail on the head. Different countries can use words differently, obviously, and I think that maybe when it comes to like different countries, there's really no distinction between coriandum and erratum, and so you could basically use either. But one publisher might prefer one over another, right? This journal say, hey, we would do it as an errata, we do it as a coriandum. It doesn't really matter though, right? There's no must do it this way. I don't think there's no, oh, you did it as an errata, not a coriandum. You screw it up. Other than, again, the journal might just say we don't take it as a coriandum, we take it as an erratum, maybe for consistency or something, or they have some nuance they add to it. Right? That's how I look at it. I heard a sound. Was that on my end? Did somebody become a member or something? I don't know. So Raybeard, did you want Chile to win? I mean, Chile's deserving. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on. Without a crystal ball, has got to be the single most biggest grifter I've ever seen in my life, because she just puts out misinformation left and freaking right and doesn't care. She's defamed 40 freaking people already. When you have multiple lawsuits, multiple people saying that she lied, and yeah, I was one of the first to call her out for it. Not the first by any stretch of imagination. She had people way before I came along, but I think one of the more, I hate to use popular, but one of the more well-known people in the communities, especially in the atheist agnostic community, because she was trying to get her inserted into that after becoming, she was this huge God person who's Christian. Then she said, oh, well, the church isn't giving me money because, I'm the mother of a medically fragile child. They're not giving me money. She became more popular as an atheist writer. She did like a Brett Keane kind of thing, just flip flop back and forth, whatever the money is. I've been consistent in my position for 10 years now. And if I ever do move to another position, there's going to be reasons for it, right? If I finally come out and say, hey, look, this is my new position, or this is what, after reading this, what I learned about this, and I think I've reevaluated my position and I change it, perfectly fine to do that. We all do that, right? I mean, I have some obviously in philosophy, some minor changes. I no longer say that I'm a partial theological and cognitivist, even though I get the appeal for it, I do get the appeal for theological non-cognitivism, but it's just something that I can't really defend. And so I do believe that they are cognitive positions, and I treat them as cognitive positions. So we have a guest. Hi, Mr. Brandon.
What's up? What's going on, man?
Nothing. So, what do you like to correct? Anything? You got anything you want to do in erratum, errata, coriandum, or corianda? Pick one. What do you prefer?
No idea what you're talking about.
Just say the first one.
All right, the first one. What
See
the
how
hell?
easy it is to manipulate people? I'm just kidding.
It's
No wonder people think you're in a cult. Yeah, right. So what do you got for us,
Yeah.
buddy?
I was just coming on to join the conversation. I
That's
mean,
fine.
see what you're talking about, and maybe if I can contribute, I
Yeah.
will.
Well, look into here. I got something to contribute. So what do you think about the whole AZ and Wolf thing? And first of all, weigh in on how the hell is she using my name attached to Wolf as far as being a quote owner and master, which by the way she did say. She didn't. She was like, I never said master. She did. It's clear as day. She said master. Now I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt and said, oh well, she's talking about a dog. But then she's like, but it's just like, wait a minute, he's a wolf, and wolves are not dogs. Learn some basic biology. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't give her any principle charity on that. I absolutely believe that it was a racial remark. What about you?
I think it was too, and she tried to put it out, so that she can say she's not racist. But yeah, she's definitely. I'm pretty sure she's racist. She doesn't mind teasing me for the way I talked.
Yeah, well,
not
I mean,
that.
she called you. She called you Cookie Monster. She
Yeah.
knew, and she knew. She knows.
And she apologized, and it was all fake because they know she tweeted and she didn't even care.
Oh, she didn't give a shit. Yeah, I wouldn't take any of their apologies. You'd have said, Steve, can you tell us what Nate the Liar didn't tell the truth about? Yeah, absolutely. Not gonna do it this stream because I'm not gonna get into all that. But yeah, go look. I mean,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, just recently, I think it's even pinned to my Twitter, isn't it? Is it pinned to my Twitter? No, that's Katie. But I just recently put out a photo where he had 200 people plus vote in that 88%, because he was trying to run the narrative that Kyle was not served properly. We all knew that he was. The lawyers knew that he was. The judge knew that he was. But Nate the Liar was trying to put out this narrative that he wasn't served properly, and 88% of those 200 people agreed with him. All of them got it wrong, and not one single apology. I have the screenshot. It's on my Twitter.
Like I said, I'm not surprised. Shit.
No. I mean, because Nate the Liar and I go way back. He used to be a mod on the GDC. He, used to be a mod on the GDC G Plus, just like the Holy Spackle was. And I didn't want to have anything to do with those people because they were so into trolling. Nate was known as a troll back then. That's what he was known for. Was known for trolling. I banned him on my Facebook page how many years ago for trolling myself and Bullinator. He would make fake accounts and go onto my Facebook page to try to get around the ban. Who does this?
Obviously, someone who's obsessed.
It was creepy, dude. No means no.
Yeah, it's stalking.
Yes, and that did happen. I made a video on it. It's on my channel.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bull was not thrilled with that.
Damn.
Here, let me show you guys what I'm talking about because you asked. Let me screen share this real quick. Source display. Okay, so right here, I just put this the other day. Nate the Liar. Non-sec lawsuit poll. Was Kyle Curtis served properly under North Carolina law? 11% yes. 88% no. Okay, it wasn't 200 votes, so 149 votes. Okay, Errata, my mistake. It was 149, not 200. 200 was on the other one. That was on the one. I was thinking of the Katie Joy one. That was over 200. So my apologies. I corrected that. See, I was in error, but it was 149 votes. Still significant. They all got it wrong. So, here, there. Now you guys can see it. I'm sorry. There you go.
It's not on stream still.
Yeah, you'll see it now. So, and yeah, go look at my little icons at the bottom. All the people looking for like the hidden details, go look on the bottom. You'll see that. Yes, Fallout. I play Fallout. Sorry. What do you want? Okay, sue me.
Oh, which one?
Oh, the little guy at the bottom next to the mail. That's a Fallout.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh, which Fallout game did you play? I mean,
I love Fallout New Vegas. That's one of my favorite. I've been trying to play Fallout 4, but it's hard to get into.
yeah.
I don't know. Not a huge fan of it yet, and I'm thinking about maybe starting over because it's been so long since I played that. It's been several months, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, and I want to start playing it again. I started playing it again. I was like, I don't even know how to play this game. I didn't get very far, and I got to the part where you get this power suit and you get the power cords, but I was like, holy crap, there's just so much junk, and I don't know how to recycle it properly, and whatever.
Yeah, New Vegas is definitely the best, though. I have New Vegas and fully. Yeah, New Vegas
is one of the that game. Look, it's not like the super sophisticated type game by any means, but the playability on it is just fun.
It's pretty sophisticated. I mean, you cook, and then if you play extreme mode, you have to actually eat and stuff.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I had built up all my survival skills, you know. But yeah, no, it's a great game. I think that's probably one of my more all time favorite games is Fallout New Vegas. Now I played the enhanced version with all the mods. I started playing the vanilla, and I was like, okay, I got the idea of it. Then I added the mods to it. Oh, epic! Do you play with mods?
Yeah. I don't have a game system right now.
But when you played, did you play with mods?
No, I was on console, and no, I didn't. Even if you could get them on console, I didn't.
Yeah, console games. Yudahef says, pretty sure if he wasn't served properly, the lawyers would have caught it. That well, that was a lawyer that said he wasn't served properly. That lawyer got the law wrong. He got the law wrong. How else will you define that? Wrong is the best way to define that because he was wrong. I mean, he said he said he wasn't served properly. Well, the courts disagreed with him, and it was clearly apparent to anybody who read it to the legal case that he was served properly. We knew that he was served properly. We had no doubt the judge was going to side with us. No doubt at all. It was clear as day in the legal case. But he was trying to come up with a narrative, and as Brandon said, which was Kyle's boyfriend at the time, Nate was the one that came up with the whole plan to do that. That's according to Brandon. So, and that was live that he said that. So, just saying, there's a lot of shady shit there.
Yeah. Another Brandon or me?
Yeah, Brandon was yeah. Well, you weren't Kyle's boyfriend, I don't think, were you?
Oh.
You have better taste than that, right?
I didn't think his name was Brandon though. I think it was something else. Wasn't it?
Oh, Brandon was that. I'm sorry, Brandon was his other boyfriend. I'm sorry. Not Brandon.
It was.
God damn it! Because it just came up on my Facebook a little while ago. His other boyfriend, Brandon. No, not Brandon. Shoot.
Well, I interviewed him. I can't remember his name though.
Ben.
Yeah.
Ben. I can't. No, but it's Brandon's name just came on Facebook the other day. But it was Ben that said that, not Brandon. I got his boyfriends confused, of course. Ben.
Okay.
Duh. I feel stupid. Yeah. Errata, See, but here's the thing. We correct the errors here, do we not?
Yeah. If we get something wrong, yeah.
But did that answer your question, year and a half? Yeah, he there's a lot of things he said that was just inappropriate and incorrect. I was going to report him to the bar. I was going to be. It's already 8 pages, my report, and that was only on one thing that I was going to have him on. There was 8 things I think I came up with from one of the rules, but I just put one. And my lawyer said, "Hey, look, while he agreed with me that this particular lawyer went way past the line of ethical considerations." Unless he was my lawyer, the bar really doesn't care. Unless he was my lawyer, the bar really doesn't care. So yes, I really was going to report him. Yes, I really have a document on it. One of these days, I'm going to make that document public, based upon the rule of. But it was, like I said, it's really it was only my lawyer, and so that's why I didn't complete that. But I was going to report him. Hell's yeah.
You can show it. You can show it though, right? If you wanted to. I mean, it's not like. Yeah, it's not legally.
Oh, I can show whatever I want, but it's got. I'm not going to show his personal information. I mean, I have his bar number, but I mean, this. I'll read it to you what I have so far. This just to show you that it's legit. 1 sec.
I believe you, but
no, I know.
Yeah, I believe you.
I didn't think that you didn't.
Okay.
Let me read this super chat real quick, whatever it was. What did I just hear a ring on? Did I get a super chat or no? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard the
Don't
sound
think-
for that, but then I don't. What was that sound?
I'm.
All right, never mind. All right. So, anyways, I have, I have. Nate knows I have his personal information. I've known Nate for a very long time, so I have, the address, the date he admitted to the bar. I have his registration number. I have all that. I've had all that. Okay, so I said these are the things that I said he was wrong on. Providing out of context video to Kyle Curtis, conspiring with Mr. Curtis to commit fraud upon the court, tweeting I knew Ben was lying that Kyle had moved, falsely accusing a person I was dating of stalking him, smearing me with another YouTuber, misleading people about the difference between TRO and RO to one of his associates, misleading people about the merits of my lawsuit, falsely claiming I was involved in a fraudulent GoFundMe, and supporting a person who tried to convince the coroner of my best friend's death that I was somehow involved, and things of that nature. Those are things, and it's basic on Article 1, violation of rules, 8.4 misconduct. And I have it all laid out here. I was like, this is a misleading. He said, if Kyle is credible, he lived with Ben and it was improperly served. I said, this is a misleading statement that the preceding judge, the Honorable Judge Gale, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, I have this all typed out. I really was going to report him. Yep. Interesting, right?
And it can't do anything unless he's your lawyer. That's
right, because he just wasn't my lawyer. So I'm going to complete this one of these days, and I'll make it public because it's long. And it's just like, what else in here? I haven't looked at this in a while. Holy crap. Yeah, but he did give a video to Kyle that was taken out of context, obviously, to support a narrative. He actually said that, let's see here. Judge said actual notice is not enough. Okay, but that's taken out of context. We all know actual notice is not enough. That was never an issue. Let's see what else is here. This is a long document. Holy crap. See, he says, I agree. His friend Kyle's mom, I agree. She was presumed an agent, and Kyle has to get her to say she was not an agent, and Kyle has to say she is not an agent. No, that's not sufficient. He was wrong about that. She accepted it. She was supposed to give it to him. He said he got it. Done. Has nothing to do with whether, if she would have said she's not an agent, and he would have said she wasn't an agent, it wouldn't have been sufficient to the court based upon prior court findings. Gibby versus Lindsay. The burden is on the defendant to rebut the presumption of a clear and unequivocal evidence that consists of more than a single contradictory affidavit or the contradictory testimony of one witness. We had it all laid out legally. This is why even my lawyer was like, yeah, this dude is just bullshitting people because he's got a personal grudge against me. He's not putting out any correct information about the case. And so, yeah, that's the kind of guy that's, working with, other certain YouTubers on YouTube, and other lawyers. So,
and he still has a law license.
Well, because this is all online shit, right? But he also said the place where the defendant lived is irrelevant. In this case, who's telling you this? Sorry, but you're highly mistaken. Is his words? We weren't highly mistaken. He literally said the place where the defendant lived is irrelevant. In this case, who's telling you this? Sorry, you were highly mistaken. No, the place where he lived was irrelevant. The judge said this. We knew this. So yeah, he's either willfully misleading people, which I believe, or he's just the world's worst lawyer, which might be as well true.
Didn't he admit that he planted those or some shit?
Yeah, when he was an officer, he kind of admitted to Emily D. Baker that he knew all the tricks about planting evidence and stuff like that because he could quote he used to do it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite a long document. Let's see. Like here, he says, he knew the defendant had moved and lied to the court. That's what he's told me. This is what Nate the Liar said. Quote, like how he knew the defendant had moved and lied to the court. I didn't lie to the court. Kyle did not move. That has been established now. The only reason I said that I knew he had moved was based upon Kyle saying that he had moved. I just took him at his word. That's it. Al said, yeah, I moved. Okay, well, okay, I know that you moved. But then after investigating it more, we found out that he lied about that. He submitted false evidence. He was trying to put one over on the court. And the whole schema for that, the whole evidence for that was provided by Nate, supposedly, according to Ben. So, yeah, he was just promulgating this complete fabricated narrative, this LARP, based upon, what he got the playbook from Unirock, just to lie to people. It's a full-on LARP. Telling people that I lied to the court when I didn't. So, I mean, yes, I have a lot of stuff you to have on Nate the Liar. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Here, Steve knows Ben is lying. When did Ben ever lie? So, anyways, you get the idea. Yes, when I say that I was going to do something, I fully mean it, and I was all ready to report him. But then again, I had a discussion with my actual lawyer, and he's like, "You can do this, but again, it's just not gonna get anywhere. It's because he wasn't your lawyer." He's like, if you want to make it all public, go ahead, kind of stuff, But what good is it report somebody if they don't even, they're not going to take it as a report because he wasn't my lawyer. I think public opinion is far more persuasive when they see that Nate the Liar literally lied, saying that I said things I didn't say, like, "Oh, Steve knows Ben is lying." Well, we all know now Ben was telling the truth. Hindsight is great for this kind of stuff, isn't it?
Yes, awesome.
What else you got? What else you want to add to the stream, Brandon? Anything? Because I wasn't planning to go very long today. I just want to do a quick erratum, coriandum, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care. This is not supposed to be a long video. I got other stuff I got to do.
I don't have anything else, man.
Right. It was good talking to you. Good hearing from you. I'm glad you're doing well. Screw the haters, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't think anybody else has anything to add either. I'll keep it over for another, 1 minute because I just want to go an hour. But people got nothing to add. I'm keeping this short. I got housework to do.
Yeah, I was gonna take off anyway.
Yeah, it is a good housework day. I got Non Sequitur show on Friday with the amazing Landon Kurt Knoll. We're going to be talking about science communication involving things like the James Webb Telescope. Just fun stuff. It's gonna be cool. All right, buddy.
Yeah, one of the recent discoveries is weird.
Oh, that's been getting all kinds of cool stuff. I think 100 years from now, all this stuff's going to be so obsolete that we're going to have technology just eons ahead of us.
Definitely.
Quantum computing, it would be just revolutionary. Quantum money will come into being. But all right, man. I'm going to take off. Thank you guys for watching. I know this wasn't very long. It was only meant to be. I have more stuff coming up, but just today I wanted just to do this real quick. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if there's anything you like me to correct in the comments. That excludes trolls, idiots, and dumbasses. But people that have legit things where it's more of a scientific, philosophical, or technical nature that I might have done an error, by all means, I'm happy to correct those things. If you just think my paper's wrong because I'm a mean poopy head, whatever, right? All right, bud. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.